And so, later that night, let's go ahead and speak with Hildebrand to move on to our next quest for this part of the Hildebrand Mysteries, entitled Not From Around Here. Hildebrand is keen to embark on the next leg of your investigation. Or rather, his. Charlie and the Witch. We need only chartered or suitable she vessel. Of course, but does not the city lie many days' sail to the north? Is there no swifter means of reaching our destination? Well, I can tell you where you need to go. So this experimental aetherite will allow us to teleport thither, even absent attunement. Splendid. Then we shall avail ourselves of the technological marvel forthwith. Yeah, they'll need to go back to Yedlamad to get it, but once they're there, we'll be able to reunite with them. So let's head off to Charlian. So let's head on over here, and this is where our crew is. So this is the City of Learning. A sophisticated gentleman should feel right at home here. How are you all not sick to your stomachs? I was. Experimental aetherites make travel exponentially more fun. Sometimes I feel as though I'm the only normal person in this group of eccentrics. That's not saying much, but this is not the time to succumb to nausea, not here, not in the belly of the beast. Rumor has it that the Charlian secret agents travel the star in search of specimens, which they collect and bring home in service to a confidential research project. Said project is conducted in a huge underground military facility. If we are to find answers, then that's where we need to look. Military facility? Secret agents, you mean gleaners? Yeah. I don't think you know what you're talking about. These gleaner chops sound they might like they know might like. These gleaner chops sound like they may not know a thing or two. I say we pay them a visit in their little underground base. We simply take a lift from the Hall of the Artifice, yes? Then let us be on our way. Yeah, we actually have to go meet them at the location, so I'm gonna go ahead and warp to the closest points. And so, as we arrive, let's speak with Hildebrand. Oh, these must be the lifts in question. So as we arrive, but yeah, Hildebrand, would have killed you at least changing your clothes again. Do you wish to descend into Labyrinthos, madam? I do, and these people are with me. My apologies, but each of your companions must also secure the proper permissions before we can allow them entrance. Even though I can't vouch for them? If it is assurances you need, then surely a single glance is all you need to require to judge us as trustworthy. Given what we currently have, yeah, you're in tatters. Dalian is, of course, wearing suspicious goggles, and of course, Brandahild is in 8-bit form, and Poo-Poo, of course, is an alien. Which I don't even think can surprise the person here guarding. I certainly could make some judgments, but that is neither here nor there. Admission to Labyrinthos is subject to foreign policy. So what do? You're the ones who should be judged! I know you're hiding aliens and xenotechnology in that underground base of yours! Admit it! Xenotechnology? I sincerely have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, yet again do our paths cross in most serendipitous fashion. Look who's come to the rescue, it's Godbert. Oh, Father, what business brings you to Charlian? I am in search of a certain object, one crucial to the continued refinement of the Mandeville weaponry. My investigations lead me to believe that it is to be found here in Labyrinthos. And as you also seem to have some business down below, this is my son and his bosom companions. If I vouch for their character, would you kindly allow them to board the lift? Master Godbert Mandeville, the Forum sent word of your impending arrival. Also, why do you need a sword? A miniature one at that. As a member of the Syndicate, your ambassadorial status affords you an entourage of up to 5 members. Pray consider their permissions arranged. Well, that was easy. I know not your current mission, but for the time being, I suggest you accompany me to the Archaon. Consider yourselves lucky. I mean, as Warrior of Light, yeah, stop him in his tracks! Stop that stalker in his tracks. I mean, she's a Lalafell too. Surely you can find some love interest with her, right? Well, hello there, Gubu. Speaking of Gubu, I don't know if any of you have noticed about the new introduction of the crossover with Fall Guys, and that one of the Fall Guys outfits for the Final Fantasy XIV crossover is a Gubu. But also to make me happy, one of them is also a traditional Dragoon armor, which I certainly approve of. Hildebrand. From what Father tells me, this storage facility is replete with samples and specimens collected from every land on Theros. If anyone has information concerning visiting aliens and crashed starships, it will be these studious folk. Well, let's hope you're right. And so as we try and explain ourselves to the man at the desk. A shiny silver saucer? I'm sorry, but we have no record of any such object in our archives, either whole or in part. Oh, poor Poo-Poo. Also you would have us believe, but the purpose of this complex, this military fortress, is plain. You cannot deny that you're conducting secret research on alien starships. We are not conducting secret research on alien starships. Yes, we did build a starfaring vessel in Thamazane, but it was neither for military purposes nor of extraterrestrial origin. Disguising your foul lies with a sprinkling of the truth, are we? Fine. I'll dig up the facts myself and then everyone will hear what you're really up to. And he shows like, whatever. While I cannot assist you with your missing craft, I do recall seeing an individual of like appearance to your companion here. Wait, really? You do? And where was this, pray tell? At Mariol Agronomics in the medial circuit. The lift at the back of the building will take you down there. Many thanks, my good man. Well, it seems you've found yourselves a solid lead. I have my own search to attend to, so I shall bid you good hunting and good day. Until we meet again, Godbert, which won't be long because of course we'll have to come back to you for getting the next part of our weapons built up. And so, another round of in-depth inquiries by the Agent of Inquiry and Fringe is in order. To Marial Agronomics we go. Indeed. Let's do this. So we gotta go a little further. So as we arrive on scene, let's start speaking with some agriculturalists who are burning the midnight oil. Your description would lead me to believe that you're looking for one of the mandragores hereabouts. But if, as you say, it's something else you're after, then I'm not sure I can be of much help. I've only just started working here, so you may have more luck asking the older hands. Alright. Let's go over to this gentleman. Oh, you must be talking about one of those new mandragora strains. We whipped up a batch of those bright blue stray onions, but I'm afraid they started to rot almost immediately. Not a mandra, you say? Well, the only other bluish thing I can think of around here are the grapes. Look how luscious this crop turned out. Yeah, in fact, let's take a look right now, because those in the know are familiar with the fact that the bunches of grapes in this game are basically just polygons. Which is hilarious, and also cool at the same time. And finally over here, in this Lalafell.
Yes, the little blue man. Saw him with my own 2 eyes, I did, and it was no mandragora. A gleaner in the company of an outside visitor passed through a little while back. Nothing too unusual there, only this, friend you described was scuttling along with them. I know not what purpose brought them to the farm, but whatever it was, they didn't tarry here long.
Well, that gives us all the information we need to hear, so as Nashu and Papu and Poopu were talking it over, Hildebrand is speaking with this guy. So let's explain everything that's happened. Wonderful. That corroborates the information I but moments ago skillfully squirreled out of this farmer. She claims to be an acquaintance of the gleaner in question, in fact, and will bring him to talk to us shortly. Well, thank you very much. Let's round up the others. We should all be present to hear what revelations this professional collector has to share. And hopefully it'll be of good value. So, this is the person of interest.
You're the folk asking about the little blue man, yes?
Yes, we are, Mr. Duskwhite.
Oh, and you've brought someone who's practically identical. You must be the same species, surely. My friend was really here then?
But he's gone?
They certainly were. If you've a moment or 3, I'll tell you the whole tale. To begin at the beginning, I was in Thavnir on a procurement mission when I crossed paths with an apothecary and his unusual companion. As I mentioned, the companion was almost your twin in appearance, and the wagon they rode upon bore a damaged vessel the likes of which I had never seen before. Could it be? As a collector by trade, I have a certain weakness for oddities. Thus did I hail the apothecary to inquire after his company and his cargo. The man was only too happy to share his story. He had, it seemed, quite recklessly plunged into the war-torn lands of Garlemald to sell his wares.
Well, that was a mistake.
Reasoning that where there was conflict, there would be a need for medicinal goods. The state of affairs was rather more volatile than he anticipated, however, and he was soon forced to abandon his venture. And so, the apothecary began his long trek home, only to shortly thereafter discover a strange silvery ship and its shaken pilot crash-landed in a snowfield. It cannot be a coincidence. The story continues. After extricating the battered vessel and its occupants from the snow, he brought them home to Razet-Hon. His guest wished to make repairs to the craft, yet even amongst the wonders of the bazaar, they struggled to find suitable parts. Hearing this, I suggested they bring the wreckage itself to Labyrinthos, and after they agreed to the idea, I escorted them here myself. Alas, even the Thamazane engineers who worked on the Ark were stymied by the exotic ship, finding its technology impossible to comprehend, let alone replicate. The little blue fellow eventually resorted to drafting schematics. While the engineers followed these step by step to craft the essential bits and bobs, the apothecary and his companion were waiting here at Mariol. And then what happened? Well, once our industrious visitor had what they needed, they repaired the vessel in a twinkling. The pair then departed almost immediately, and I've seen neither hide nor hair of them since. I am told the apothecary paid a handsome sum for the engineer's services, but being typical Charlians, I wager they would happily forfeited the coin for a chance to pour over every square ilm of that ship. Now, I'm no scientist, but I'm beginning to think that such an incredible vessel must have been some kind of starfaring craft. And that little blue man, well, he must have been an alien from another world!
That definitely piqued your interest.
Or so I like to believe. I'm an avid reader of the Thavnarian truth, you see, and I love to entertain these idle flights of fancy.
Yeah, guess what, Dalian? You have more followers.
But I've rambled on too long. These errands to attend to, and I really must take my leave. A good fortune to you.
Well, after that revelation...
Can it be true? I've a readership in Charlian!
Perhaps I misjudged these people. You certainly have. I mean, the horticulture alone should be enough to convince you. Towards Shimo comrade is hale and healthy, Master Poo-Poo, and in the company of a Hanashell Commissioner of Unclosed Description.
Yes, this is wonderful news. I am grateful indeed that we made the journey.
I have a feeling this case will soon draw to a close. Come, let us return to Roger Town and continue the search.
Okay.
So, let's head back on to Razat-Han. And now it's raining here in Razat-Han too, so let's go ahead and reunite with the crew. As it seems like... Hey you!
It's a relief to see that Miss Nashu's hand and horn still fetching. I wasn't able to sneak into Labyrinthos, so I couldn't watch over her like usual, but I'm here for her now and forever!
Dude, you need a life. Get it. Hildebrand. So after everyone is back, to summarize our findings, we know now that Master Poo-Poo's friend is safe and in the company of a Hunnish gentleman, and possibly here on this very isle. Oh, that does sound promising. Welcome back, Godbert. Father, you've returned to the city. I trust this means that your own investigation was successful. That it was, although laying hands on the object of my desire has been a long and frustrating ordeal, to say the least. Much painstaking research revealed to me the existence of a hereditary Mandeville relic, within which slumbers the secrets of weapon augmentation. Yet though I turned our ancestral home upside down, I failed to unearth the artifact in question. The reason for its absence became clear when I chanced upon the journal of one of our forefathers. He wrote of a visiting scholar's keen interest in the relic, and how he thus surrendered it into Charlene's safekeeping for study. The trail led me to Labyrinthos. As it turns out, the Charlenes never did find time to conduct their analysis. The custodian and I found the curio tucked away in a dusty corner of the Archaon, still awaiting processing. I guess they had better things to do. Like, getting everyone off the planet. And here it is. An oddity every bit as perplexing as Goldbrand's cipher-bound manual. How are we to liberate its hidden wisdom? How do we indeed, this little pyramid?
Oh, I can help you with that. These devices were made by the Mandavillians, a starfaring race with whom we once traded.
Mandavillians? Starfaring? Mandavillians?
Yes, a highly evolved species with a mastery of advanced technologies. Our people shared ideas and inventions, so I am quite familiar with your family's relic. If you so wish, I can have the device project whatever images were stored upon it. A darkened room would afford us the clearest view, however.
Well, it is nighttime. Then let us retire to our rooms and coma and dim the lanterns. We must behold these secrets in optimal conditions. Yeah, indeed we must. And all of a sudden... Mandavillians? A coincidental naming? Or is there some deeper connection? I guess we're about to find out, aren't we? Yeah, pick up your little pyramid there, Godbert. And then later on, our Arcos Sadara companions are all here to give us the help we need.
Everyone comfortable? Then let's see what the device has for us.
So do your fancy thing. And it turns on.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are my only hope.
I couldn't resist. So what are we about to witness? Someone posing like a Manderville. Even looks like one. With many details. It's a hybrid of Hildebrand and Godbert. I am Goldbrand, Wanderer of Stars and Weaponsmith Extraordinaire! First Lord of House Mandeville. this is the Goldbrand, our founding father? I recall this message, that my descendants may know the truth of their cosmic origins. The tale is long, but I bid you watch until the very end. And so, here's of mine. I am not a man born of this star, or even a man at all, even though you look like one. I am of the Mandavillians, a race which hails from the far side of the great expanse. Which means, yeah. Ever wonder why these guys are so insanely inhuman? Even though they look like them? We're going to puppetry and caricature now. Mandavillians are parasitic symbionts. We can only survive by bonding with other life forms. Such as a goblin, for instance. Yeah, it's not quite Venom, but, you know, once our essence has taken root, we supplant the host mind and strengthen its physical structures, imbuing our new form with a steel-like resistance. I knew there was something alien about that impossible imperviousness! Yeah, it's been so bizarre. Then, through the conjoining of compatible host bodies, we produce offspring which harbor the next generation of Mandavillians. The symbiotic variant eventually takes to the stars in search of potential new vessels, adapting and multiplying. So it was that our race proliferated and spread throughout the cosmos. And lower the red curtain. Until tragically, our flourishing civilization was brought to an abrupt end. Uh-oh. What happened? Yikes. Every planet upon which we Mandavillians resided was visited by an inexplicable calamity. Our societies were brought to ruin by life forms suddenly twisted into horrific nightmares. Yes, and based on the smoke imagery that we see, they've found blasphemies everywhere. Turning into things like that. Make a break for it. That sounds rather familiar. So even stars far removed in time and space were ravaged by the final days. Indeed. And Poo Poo is pretty sad about that too. I can't blame him. And so, desperate to avoid the same fates, a comet and I boarded a ship and fled upwards into the starry night. In one of those various worlds. And then, boom! We flew and flew until we found a planet! Your planet! Untouched by the phenomenon. But the rigors of the journey had damaged our craft that we were forced to make an uncontrolled descent. And thus you emerged. I alone crawled from the wreckage, badly injured and near death. But even as I resigned myself to perishing on this unfamiliar world, I was found by a man who had come looking for the falling star. Which he did. And thus, the cycle repeated itself. As a rule, Mandavillians do not take intelligent life forms for hosts. After hearing my story, however, this sympathetic gentleman offered to become my vessel of his own accord. Well, at least we didn't have an Eddie Brock situation. He himself was afflicted by an incurable malady, and with little time left to live, seemed to content to know that his ailing body could provide safe haven for another. And thus the torch was passed. And therefore, with his blessing I set about transferring my essence. The man's form was revitalized, and purged of its fatal frailty, yet the mind which dwelled within was now my own. They stuck a Julian shadow in there. I went on to build a new home for myself here, making use of my people's technology to ply the blacksmith's trade. I wed a local lass, and together we had a child. Who proceeded to do the same things. Although not pure Mandevillian, our offspring exhibits the same enhanced physiology. A boon I suspect shall be passed down for generations through the bloodline of House Mandeville. And what a boon that was. My dear descendants, the folk of this star are the most fragile, yet as the first man I encountered did demonstrate, they nevertheless capable of surpassing love and generosity. And there are your fellow actors who came in to play the parts. As the last of the Mandevillians, I have but one request to make of you. Pray employ your superlative attributes, and my armory of Mandeville armaments, for the benefit of these wonderful peoples whom I hold in the highest regard. And dance like a monkey while you do it. 8, 9, 10 years later, that's still a thing. And that was his send-off. What an astounding development. It certainly is. But do you hear water? Or the boys crying crazy so much like SpongeBob? I, Hildebrand Heliodor Maximilian Mandeville, shall hear the passionate plea of my illustrious forebear. And do it with a smile on your face and with sparkling teeth. No case is too big nor too small, should I serve and service to my fellow man. He's wasting no time getting the job done. He learns he's descended from an extraterrestrial being and it's still business as usual. Yep.
But wait a minute, then why is Lady Julian so monstrously strong? Is she a descendant of aliens too?
Wouldn't put it past her. As Delian looks over the relic, the projector, well, this is most unexpected. Never did it cross my mind that our esteemed ancestor might hail from beyond the heavens. Well, that'll also explain why you go down to your underwear whenever you have to goldsmith something. But I do wonder if that self-same blood still runs thick in our veins. The family tree I glanced over some years ago suggests that... Oh, but it's important. Actually, it might be important. My present purpose remains unchanged. I will bring our Mandeville weaponry to the peak of perfection, for Goldbrand, and for the good of our star. Before I forget, I have a gift for you, Rika. Pray await me at the Aetherite Plaza, and I shall bring it to you forthwith. Alright. So you'll take your little treasure back, and Delian and I will return to where this all began. So having returned, let's go ahead and speak with them to complete the quest. Some truths can shatter the foundations of our beliefs when brought to light, but I have to say this wasn't one of them. The more staggering discovery was that I have diverted readers than Charlian. Those who peruse my publication are allies against the ever-expanding webs of lies and deception without exception. That's what you care more about? I misjudged the Charlian people. They are not collaborators or the architects of conspiracy. They are but seekers of knowledge unafraid to plumb the depths of the unknown. Just like you, right? Not mostly poo-poos, though. That's one still has ulterior motives. I bet my life in that. Stand ready, for we shall have need of your strength when he shows his true colors. Yeah, if you say so. I hope you've not been waiting long. Hey, Godbert. This is the gift I mentioned. Master Poo-Poo's earnest guests inspire me to indulge in a spot of clockwork craftsmanship between weaponsmithing sessions. Oh, so it's not poo-poo? I thought it only fitting that you be the one to care for this diminutive simulacrum. Consider it a memento of your adventures together. Oh, actually, it is a poo-poo minion. And he wants to come and say hello. And as for our Mandible Weaponry project, I believe my ancestor's artifact has unlocked the door to the next stage of improvements. Should you find time to offer your assistance, announce yourself to Master Gellert and I shall endeavor to enjoin you with utmost celerity. Until then, my dear Rika. Indeed. So we'll take our 3,330 gil, plus we now have the wind-up poo-poo minion. We'll bleed you dry elixirs if you aren't careful. But I don't think we'll need to go to that kind of extreme. I'll see you in a moment as the poo-poo minion waves goodbye. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Thavnair, up on a shore somewhere, our Aura friend is doing his walk over to wherever it is he's going to. And he does see a light off in the distance. It is indeed a UFO. So he's got to check it out for himself. Quite a few people are around here. And who's in the middle? Lord Van Hoody, I come with ill tidings. Professor Luque set an ambush for his nemesis but was once more defeated. His current whereabouts are unclear. I would say it's nice to meet you, but not necessarily. What blathering dolt. Turn the light back on. And watch the UFO that you see shining its light on what's coming out from it. Well, whatever it is that's putting a smile on your face. He's cloning himself. Uh-oh. How do we know who's the true one? No matter. Preparations are well underway, and the manifestation will proceed as planned. Yeah, that's a lot of Van Hooties there. How many more is he gonna clone? He'll just keep going to his heart's content. Clearly not a good sign. And there's his private airship. Holding even more clones. Jeez, Clone War out the wazoo. Time for the outro theme again. Time for everyone to run onto the screen. Extraterrestrial calamity. Cosmically altered physiology. A gentleman's man, the first of our clan, and ancestor quality, our Godbrand Mandeville. Truth can be stranger than the tallest tale. Indeed it can be.